Hey everybody, I just finished another book in the original Goosebumps series. This is a reread where I'm going back and rereading all of the original Goosebumps books. Was a buddy read with a good friend of mine, and very thankful for that. So let me tell you guys a quick story. When I was like 10 or 11, I remember going to a flea market and finding this big wall full of Goosebumps books and different things like that. This was way before the internet, or before I had the internet, not before the internet was existed. But I remember running into these books and just trying to memorize the covers and different things like that. And this was one of the books that I picked to carry home with me. I remember looking at the back of this book and seeing the symbiosis thing on the back, or whatever that thing is on the back, and seeing this thing about at the very end of the thing, at the paragraph, it says something about being half fish, half human. And for some reason, in my little 10-year-old mind, I thought that this book was going to be about like a person turning into a shark and jumping in the water. Little did I know it was mostly about mermaids. I remember staying home from school one day, reading this book and not liking it really at all. I remember just not loving this book at all. I remember liking Deep Trouble 2 for the most part, but Deep Trouble 1 was not a fun book for me. And it's crazy because my opinion has definitely changed. I reread this, of course, and yeah, this was good. Um, some other nostalgic memories. I remember thinking that this book had something to do with the cover for Welcome to the Wicked Wax Museum from the Give Yourself Goosebumps series. I thought that, like, the lady on the front, I thought that she had like a cauldron in front of her, and it was like just like this water or something, and that was like the kids being in deep trouble. Yeah, very weird, but yeah. So as far as the book goes, this was really, really good. It surprised me. This isn't scary, but yeah. The story starts off with Billy. He is playing in the water, pretending to be this like famous explorer, like trying to fight giant squids and stuff. And yeah, this never happens. He is just using his imagination, but he does end up running into this sea monster thing, and he tries to escape. And yeah, climbs on the boat, and he tries to tell his uncle and his sister about this monster that tries to attack him, and they don't believe him. They think that he's just using his imagination to go crazy. But yeah, nobody seems to believe him, so he explores, and his uncle tells him to stay away from the coral reef and the lagoon, like a little ways from the boat that they're on. The boat's name is the Cassandra too, by the way. But yeah, that night he hears this, or that day he hears this boat running up to them, and he gets out and goes and looks, and the boat has this something about a zoo on the side of it. He eavesdrops and tries to listen to him or his uncle and his uncle's friend slash partner named Alexander. And when he's listening to them, he learns that they're trying to find this mermaid, right? So he's very curious, because these grown people are talking about something that's just like a mythological monster. So yeah, he decides, and he learns that there's $1 million involved. If his uncle can find it, that he'll get $1 million. So yeah, his uncle, the marine biologist, is out looking for mermaids, or gets offered to. So yeah, Billy says he's going to find this mermaid, and he's really determined to find this mermaid. They describe her, like what she looks like and stuff like that. So he jumps in the water late that night and ends up running into a shark. And the shark tries to attack him. He swims to this coral reef, this fire coral that he hit earlier in the book, and he tries to stand on it to save himself. And he's almost eaten by the shark until the mermaid actually does pop up and saves him. The mermaid saves him and helps him get back to the boat, but the uncle sees it and gets the mermaid out of the water and is put on board and all this crazy stuff. So Billy feels bad because this mermaid saved his life, and he really wants to get her back into the water, back to her family and all of this. He tries to feed her like some chocolate chip cookies, tries to communicate with the mermaid, but the mermaid actually can like whistle and chirp and different things like that. So there's really no communication involved. There's a funny scene where he tries to like tell her, say yes for yes, nod your head yes for no, shake your head no for no, and the mermaid just basically keeps doing the same thing he does, and which is really funny. But yeah, essentially the mermaid tries to get well, these people try to kidnap the mermaid, and there's this boat that comes in and jumps on the boat and tries to get the mermaid, and that's basically like the ending of the book. So I'm not really going to say much about it, but yeah, it gets very intense. The kids get thrown in this tank, thrown overboard. There's a twist involving somebody, and yeah, that's basically Deep Trouble, and kind of a short rundown of it. Yeah, Deep Trouble was amazing. One of my favorite rereads of the year. One of my favorite reads of this series. Yeah, I really enjoyed Deep Trouble. Right off the bat, it's a 5 out of 5 for me. I know that sounds kind of crazy. This isn't the best Goosebumps book, but this is a really good book in general. Because if you're going into this expecting this like very scary book, you're not going to get that. You're just going to get this very fun, really awesome adventure book that is really sweet and it's really cute. And yeah, there's a scene where the mermaid heals Billy too with like this, she just like puts her hands over where he got burned by the fire coral and she heals him. So it's really cute. And there's also this scene where, the sea monster's after him and he feels this like tickle on the back of his leg and he thinks that it's the seaweed or something, because he's very jumpy and all this stuff. And it turns out it's just a mermaid. She's just trying to like trick him and play, like, it's very cute. Like, and it's very different from your typical Goosebumps book. And I remember, so fun fact, on my Goodreads account, I looked and I actually went through and rated all of the Goosebumps books based on what I thought that I rated them. I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars, like from when I read it a long time ago. But as an adult, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 stars. So that's very interesting. I'm really interested to see what I think about all these other books that maybe I didn't like or did like. It's kind of scary kind of going into maybe some of my favorites, thinking like, oh, this book was really good, and then maybe I don't like it. But Deep Trouble was a very pleasant surprise. Easily one of my favorite books of the year. If I had any complaints about it, I think that the villains in the book weren't really intimidating that much. They didn't really have guns or anything, but again, they get thrown overboard and left to be drowned. So that's something. Yeah. Other than that, maybe some slight pacing issues, but not much. For what this book was about, a mermaid getting brought into these people's lives and Billy just trying to save this mermaid. This book was good. This is there's really not much to complain about. Yeah, 5 out of 5 stars from you guys. Please let me know in the comments below. What did you think about Deep Trouble? I'm not sure if this is really like a considered everybody's like favorite book or whatever, but I had a lot of fun with this. So shout out to the person buddy read this with. Shout out to all the people out there that read this book. But yeah, Deep Trouble, 5 out of 5 stars from you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.